Gears of War is the franchise that has made me a massive Xbox fan since the 360 days. Honestly, this is one of my favorite franchises in modern video games, which actually shows my age, that the fact that I'm saying a series that started back in 2006 is modern day. But you know what? How could I not love this series? After all, if I had to sum it up into a simple sentence, it would be this: juiced up G.I. Joes fighting monsters in an R-rated horror themed shooter. The non-stop action, the foul language, the blood and guts as you chainsaw a locust with your lancer. Yeah, that's what I call greatness. You know what I never wanted to see Gears turned into? Another lame open world game with vast empty landscapes where nothing happens and the action is slowed down to a crawl. So imagine my terror when I started to see the headlines that Gear 6 may be open world. In my opinion, that would be an awful change for the franchise. You may be wondering where this rumor started. Well, it started from Special Nick from the Xbox Era podcast.
So, Gears 6. I had just heard a couple of things about Gears 6 a while back. Nothing too major. Just had heard, that it is a little bit further along than some might think. That's not a big deal, is it? And
It's not a big deal, mate.
That's
just a rumor. There's nothing confirmed about this.
It's just a rumor. That's right. It's just a rumor. I'd heard that it's a little bit further along than people think. I also heard that there's a strong possibility that it may be a full open world, almost open world game.
So yeah, I know some people may be excited about this change. However, I would greatly disagree with this because Gears 1 through 3 were the top quality games in the franchise, and that's what I want more of. You know what really hurt the series? The changes that were brought with 4 and 5. Switching from a well-likable cast that made up the Delta Squad in the original trilogy and replacing it with the new cast felt like a complete downgrade. JD in Gears 4 felt like they were trying to mimic Nathan Drake. And it was not just the protagonist that had the change, but even the villains. Going from fighting monsters like the Locust from the depths of the planet to fighting those boring robots for the first half of the game was incredibly lame and boring. And the boringness did not stop in Gears 4. Gears 5 may have been even worse, with those empty open world levels, zooming around as fast as possible in the stupid skiff just trying to get to the next firefight. Not to mention making it so Kate has some sort of weird connection with the Locust Queen. The series just started to go so far from its simple roots of G.I. Joe versus monsters that made me a massive fan in the first place. Which makes me wonder, why are more fans not asking for the series to go back to those roots instead of keep making changes to the franchise? I know there's tons of talk saying that Gears has become stale and stagnant. However, I feel like that's because we forgot how great Gears 1 through 3 was. The fact that Gears 3 came back in 2011, over 10 years ago, and is still referred to by many as the best in the series, shows that sometimes changing things for the sake of changing them is the wrong call. The series feels lackluster to many of us due to the changes that 4 and 5 brought, since those are the only titles we've had in the last decade. In fact, I think the only really good Gears campaign we've gotten in the past 10 years was the Hivebusters DLC. If they want to make changes, I would much rather see them expand upon Hivebusters and what made that so good instead of this weird open world nonsense. This is one series that I think should stay as a tight-knit, action-packed experience. Honestly, the only thing I hope Special Nick said that turns out to be correct is that Gear 6 is further along than we think. After all, this is just a rumor. And I would like to point out, the one thing that these articles do not bring up is that when Xbox Era actually opens up this section of the podcast, they start it with this clip.
The rumor mill. We've never heard that before. It's the rumor mill. Things change, we can't be sure. It's the rumor mill. You know they may not come true.
The Xbox Era podcast is not responsible for websites presenting these rumors as facts.
Overall, I still am very excited for Gear 6, and I do hope that it turns out that they're going back to what made the original trilogy so great, or at the very least expanding upon the Hivebusters campaign, instead of going an open world route. But I would love to hear what you all think. Do you guys want Gears of War 6 to be open world? Is it a franchise that you think needs some massive changes, or do you too want to see it return to its original formula? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you made it this far and did enjoy the video, let me know by dropping a like. And if you are new, please consider subscribing. As for me, I got a ton of work to do, so I'm gonna get back to the grind, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.